Happy Wednesday, everybody, and good morning. Hope you're doing well, and as always, hope you have a nice warm beverage somewhere nearby. Of course, I'm drinking coffee. That's an always thing for me. So yeah. Hey, hi. Little bit of science for you today here. Hopefully, you will be very pleased to learn this week that I'm actually not going to be rolling out anything new. I really wanted to give you guys time this week to process what you've been learning about the moon and the different phases of the moon, and then to finish up your stop motion animation video project. So last week we began working on this project, and I asked you, essentially to choose a topic. So you could choose between the phases of the moon and eclipses, or you could do a video on the seasons. So, what I've done for you guys this week to kind of make it easy for you and house everything all together, um, this week for December 9 through 15, you're going to be working in the exact same folder as you were working in this past week. And in Schoology, I've labeled this 12:2 to 12:15 space lesson 6. So when you guys go into Schoology, you really won't see anything different. The only thing is that there will be the overview video for 12:9, which you obviously found since you're here. There are no new notes this week. So if you have not finished, and this is pretty critical really, if you didn't go through those slides last week and fill in your notes, if you didn't watch the videos or fill out that diagram yet, go back and do that, okay? Because you're really going to need that information in order to complete the stop motion animation video project. Well, I guess if you're doing the moon. If you're doing the seasons, then maybe not. I don't know. But really the whole goal here is to give you ample time to work on this project, be creative and turn in something really cool. So just a quick overview of where we were last week. If you are a little bit confused from the notes or anything like that, then I would encourage you to please come and ask questions. But we learned last week that half of the moon is always lit. So there are exceptions with eclipses, but we're always seeing half of the moon, and we're always seeing the near side of the moon. And if you are having trouble wrapping your head around this, the penny activity is a really good activity to help you understand how the moon's rotation is the same period of time as its revolution around the earth. And so basically, we are always seeing the same side of the moon because the rotation and the revolution period are the same. But we do see this pattern that the moon follows in what we are able to see. And so here is what your completed diagram is going to look like. I actually pulled this from last week's slides. And so you can see that there's half of the moon as it's revolving around the earth. Half of the moon is going to be facing us, while half of the moon is going to be facing away. And the part of the moon that we see is based on which part is illuminated by the sun. If you remember from your notes, the sun is actually responsible for us being able to see the moon. The moon itself doesn't generate any light of its own. All of the light that we see is actually being reflected from the sun. So as we go through, it takes about 1 month for the moon to go through all of these phases. And so it's about 1 month for the moon to rotate on its axis and revolve around the earth. And so as a result, we see these different shapes. We're going to start at the new moon here. And with the new moon, this is a period of time where we might see just a very dim outline, or we might see the moon very, very dimly, but it's really quite dark. And from there, from this new moon, we will start to see parts of the moon begin to illuminate as it revolves around the Earth. This, where we actually see the part of the moon visible to us, is growing. This is called um, waxing. And so you can think of wax on, wane away. And I actually really, this is very, very helpful because I have a really hard time remembering this stuff. And so if you can think, wax on, where we get the part of the moon that's visible to us growing, that will continue. We'll start with our waxing crescent. Then we'll get to our first quarter where we'll see half of the moon lit. Then we'll see a little bit more with this gibbous shape. This is where we have the majority of the moon illuminated, but not all, until we get to a full moon. And so that's going to be about halfway through the month. Then, after the full moon, we get waning away. So it's wax on, wane away. And so now, with the waning moon phases, we'll actually start to see the part of the moon visible to us decrease until we get back to a full, or not a full moon, a new moon. So, in terms of our, the moon phase review that we just kind of talked about, when we talk about waxing moons, we're talking about that part that we can see increasing, waning away is shrinking. Maybe a couple of new terms that you guys encountered this past week. Gibbous, again, where you're seeing more than half of the moon, and the crescent is where we see the less than half. And I just always think of, I don't know, I love the crescent moon. It's like my favorite phase because it reminds me of a croissant or a crescent roll. So what's not to love about that? So in terms of your stop motion animation project, this week our class meeting time is going to be dedicated to troubleshooting, helping you with whatever it is that where you're stuck in getting your video project together. I have actually linked the instruction slides for the stop motion animation video in the agenda. So, um, again, if you haven't gone through those instruction slides and looked at the instructional video for that project, I would highly recommend that you do that. This can be a very simple project, but if you've never done this before, then getting started will probably be your biggest hurdle. So those instructional videos and slides will help you. Like I said, our class time this week is going to be dedicated to helping you troubleshoot, helping you ask any, if you have any questions, if you need any assistance. I will be there. And you can actually, if you want to jump on our class meeting Zoom at 9:30, you can do that as many times as you need to this week to get the help that you need. And you can sit and work on your project, and I can be there to assist you over Zoom as needed. The goal this week is to finish editing and uploading your project by December 15th. Now, what I'm asking you to do to make sure that I can easily access your video is that you upload your video to YouTube, and then that is the link that you're going to submit to me. YouTube is very easily accessible, and so that ensures that I'll actually be able to open your video and see it. I can't think of anything else that I'm forgetting. Really, just reach out with whatever you need. I am available by email from 8 a.m. to 3:40 p.m. I take a lunch break from 12 to 1, but I'm accessible by email all day. If you need help on your project, 9:30 to 10 is going to be our class meeting time. You can come to those class meetings as many times as you need to in order to get your questions answered. And also remember that I have Wednesday office hours from 10 to 11. So all of this stuff is there for you in Schoology. And in fact, if we go over to Schoology, you've got our schedule with all of the different links for the Zooms. Again, when you go into Schoology this week, you're going to be working in the same folder as last week. The only difference is that this is going to say 12/9 weekly overview video. So if you haven't done the notes yet, there's your notes. If you haven't done your Ed puzzle yet from last week, there's your Ed puzzle. And then, of course, if you haven't started your stop motion video project, the instructions and all of that stuff are there for you. In addition, your document of where to submit. So hopefully that kind of helps you. And I guess I need to give you your question for the week. So I was thinking about what would be a fun question? And what we've done is we've actually promised our children that we are going to get a dog for our family. And so we're hoping to get one by Christmas, but we're trying to adopt a pet. So we're sort of waiting for that right pet to come along. So, my question for you this week is what do you think we should name our dog? Now, I don't know if this is going to be a boy dog or a girl dog yet, so you might offer a boy alternative and a girl alternative, or you might find a name that would work for either. And so maybe give me some suggestions about what you think a cute name would be. And yeah, I think that that's going to cover it for the week. I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, if you have any questions or you need anything, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. And I look forward to seeing you in our class meetings, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.